Sports Illustrated, particularly Hornets on Sports Illustrated. So Sports Illustrated has all their different teams and stuff. The Charlotte Hornets. So it's not like a Lakers source. It's not like this is coming from the Charlotte Hornets side of things. Report from Charlotte. I want to be clear about that because, again, people are always like, of course you think this. But according to Charlotte, the Lakers, that they actually are like predicting and suggesting that Charlotte and the Lakers trade for Josh Green, who is somebody that I would love to have. My ideal guy from the Hornets is Miles Bridges. I really want Miles Bridges, but so the Sports Illustrated article, the trade, I don't see happening. They're proposing, again from Sports Illustrated, if Peterson is high on Thero, they want to trade for a dude Thero. A trade sending, and again, this is their proposal, a trade sending Josh Green and 2 seconds. I don't hate the idea of adding 2 seconds. So they're saying Josh Green and 2 second-round picks for Vincent and a dude Thero might just be the deal that benefits everybody. I'm not going to lie. That is pretty fair. Considering most are like, Gabe Vincent, a dude Thero, and a first for this guy. Like usually, when you kind of get the reports from a specific team, usually they're like, we're blessing them with Josh Green, right? I do think is fair. They're saying you're getting Josh Green, who is, by the way, very young still. He's 24 years old. He'll be 25 in November, so he's still young. He's a piece that could be there long-term, ideal kind of 3-and-D guard that can slot in right next to Luka. He's that 6'5" type of guy with the wingspan, all of that stuff, right? So you're getting a young player in Josh Green who could be a long-term answer for you on top of 2 second-round picks that you could use for trade or you could use for whatever, right? You could draft them however you want to approach that, right? Josh Green, get another 6'5" guy, 6'10" wingspan, defend 1 through 3 for you. I love the idea of adding Josh Green. I just don't think the Lakers can trade a dude Thero. He's basically the only guy that they got that is that mold, that like 6'7", versatile, can defend 1 through 4 for you, hyper athletic. Like Lakers need a dude Thero type of guy more than they need that 6'5" with the 6'10" wingspan guy. Right? Dude Thero's 6'7" with a 7-foot wingspan and a 41-inch vertical. I love Josh Green. If you could land Josh Green, I'd be all over Josh Green. And Charlotte's whole thing is like, Josh Green is more proven now. Where Lakers get, I get the proposal. I actually think it's a fair proposal. I just don't think the Lakers can afford to give up an Adu Thero. Now, maybe with Prosper being available now, maybe that's kind of how they look at it. We go and get Prosper, right? Because Charlotte's whole thing in the article, and you can even read the article, it says like that they wouldn't be able to do just Gabe Vincent for Josh Green, because the idea was like, get Gabe Vincent, get a veteran in the room, get a guy that has experience. They could kind of use some help in that playmaking guard role, especially with LaMelo Ball and all that stuff, right? The problem is like Josh Green, they just have several guys now that can all play that 2-3 role. And so Josh Green, it's like, where are you going to find minutes from? It's all the same reasons that, when I've made videos in the past of Miles Bridges, I've talked about, like, I really think Miles Bridges makes sense because he's kind of the odd man out there. They have so many other guys that they're trying to grow, develop, that can fill in and play that role. It's the same logic with Josh Green. And their whole thing was, we can't do a Josh Green for Gabe Vincent swap and maybe the Lakers throw in like a second or something like that. And now, because of Kneppel and all these other guys, they don't really need a Dalton Connect anymore. So it's not like, oh, hey, let's just do Gabe Vincent and Dalton Connect. The only guy that makes sense would be a dude Thero. So again, it's not one of those things where I'm like, the audacity of these guys. Like, no, it's a fair trade. Like, they're even saying, like, hey, we'll give you seconds in order to get a dude Thero and stuff like that, because he's a guy that just makes more sense for them. He's younger. They can kind of work him out and stuff. It's just, the Sports Illustrated article is basically saying, like, there's no other path unless you get a third team involved or whatever, like for them to just do a trade, but we're willing to concede some picks in order to make that make sense, which might make, maybe the Lakers would like that, especially if you can land a Prosper or if Arthur Kaluma looks really good for them. Maybe they're like, we got Prosper, we got Kaluma, bringing in a guy in Josh Green to slot in now, which was Charlotte's thing. It's like you're getting a guy that's more proven now for a team that's trying to win now, where Charlotte is they're still trying to figure it all out. Right, so a Duke Thero makes more sense for them because they're trying to figure stuff out, and then a Josh Green who's more proven, familiarity with Luka, all of that stuff, right? Like all of the like this was a very, in my opinion, a very well thought out article, right? Usually you get them and it's like, we want, we'll give you Josh Green for Gabe Vincent and 15 first. And the reason is like, it's usually all over the place. I actually thought that this was a very fair proposal, very fair idea. I just don't think the Lakers can lose Thero. He's just bigger, more athletic, longer, everything. I just don't think the Lakers could do that. Now, if the Lakers had another trade idea in mind and needed those 2 seconds, right? Like, let's say, or if you could expand the trade, right? Say you could work something out to where you get Bridges and you get Josh Green. Now I'd be willing to give up Thero because you're getting essentially a guy that could slot. I mean, you could start both of those guys next to Luka, LeBron, and DeAndre Ayton. And then Miles Bridges could slot into either the 3 or the 4 spot for you. Miles Bridges is probably the best player on that team, not named LeBron and Luka. So, and then even when LeBron rides off in the sunset, you could just slide Miles Bridges down to the 4 if you wanted to, or get a bigger 4 or whatever, right? So like, if the Lakers could get another wing in the trade, like, hey, keep your seconds, let's work something out to get Miles Bridges. We'll even give you, some pick swap. I'd give up the first. But point is, like, if you could expand the trade enough to where you're give us Miles Bridges. Like, Miles Bridges makes sense for us, and it's a win-win for all sides. We get Bridges, they get, and Josh Green, they get, Rui, Gabe Vincent, so they're clearing salary, they're getting assets, they're getting everything else that they need, right? And Rui probably better suited at the 4, so you can slot Rui in at his natural position of the 4, which opens up and frees up the 2-3 spot for them. So I do think something like that, where you could expand this trade, could make more sense either way. I think now it's kind of more of a win-win for all sides, all parties involved. That's something that I really look for the Lakers to potentially pursue and maybe get done. But and it does help that, him being on Dallas for several years, familiarity with Luka, familiarity playing off of Luka, so on and so forth. I do think that, he could be very beneficial. And if you can pull it off, if you can make it happen, I'm all for it. I won't complain about landing a Josh Green, especially get some assets. I just don't think the Lakers give up a Dude Thero. And it's not something where I'm like, he's the best, he's going to be the best player in the league. I just think he's more of a necessity for the Lakers' size, athleticism, wingspan, all of that. I just think he's somebody more, and I think he'll be a better player than Josh Green, but that's also why Charlotte's willing to give up picks. So just something to keep in mind.